Minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, on July 31st of last year, you testified before this committee and you said, and I quote, "We have made very clear we follow the law. The law will be determined by this court decision that we are all awaiting. And if it directs the NRC to pick up the license, we will do our job to support that given appropriations." End of quote. Your quotation. On November 19th of last year, the D.C. Circuit Court observed that the DOE is not following the law, noting that DOE's current strategy, and I quote, "is based on assumptions directly contrary to the law," close quote. The court ordered you to, and I quote, "submit to Congress a proposal to change the fee to zero until such a time as either the Secretary," that's you, "chooses to comply with the Act as it is currently written, or until Congress," that's us, "enacts an alternative waste management plan," close quote. Does the administration have any plans to resume work on Yucca Mountain and comply with the law, which is the Nuclear Waste Policy Act, as it is currently written?
Well, first, of course, we did submit the letter to the Congress on, I think, January 3rd.
Well, the question is, does the administration have any plans to resume work on Yucca Mountain and comply with the Nuclear Waste Policy Act as it is currently written? As it is currently written.
Yes. Secondly,
what's the answer?
In terms of the court decision with the NRC, of course, they have resumed their activity. We are supporting that, as I said we would. So we will, in fact, probably have our technical.
Well, I'm going to follow through because I think we've got questions and testimony in your budget submission that adequately proves that you're not complying and following with the law. The administration's budget indicates a need for legislation to carry out your DOE strategy for spent nuclear fuel management, especially considering it is based on assumptions directly contrary to law. Is the administration going to propose legislation?
I would have to go consult with my colleagues on that. I'm not aware of anything at the moment.
So let me get this straight. The administration doesn't like the existing law and is choosing not to execute it. So the administration wants Congress to write a new law that it might like better, but won't propose to Congress what that new law should look like. And in the meantime, you want to keep spending taxpayers' money on your strategy even after the D.C. Circuit Court noted that it is based upon assumptions directly contrary to law and has directed DOE, that's you, to stop collecting the nuclear waste fees from electricity consumers. If the administration won't follow the law on the books, why should we have any confidence that you will follow a new law?
First, I'd like to note that, as was stated publicly in a Senate hearing, I did in fact work with the committee in terms of shaping
Mr. Secretary, this is a budget hearing, and what we're trying to find out is why you're not submitting money to comply with the law. And by not submitting money in your proposed budget, in conclusion, you are directing your agency to not follow the law.
If I may add, I'm also happy to work with those in this body to formulate any bill. Secondly, we have more than adequate funding right now to do all the responses that might be called for from the NRC to support their process. As I said, we expect our first report to be submitted very soon, probably the end of this month. And third, our budget request is for all activities which are authorized under the Nuclear Waste Policy Act.
In the context of DOE's assurances that it would follow the law, DOE, has repeatedly committed to this committee that DOE would honor the NRC's November 19th order, both in correspondence and in hearings, including your testimony that I noted earlier. As recently as January 9th letter to this committee, DOE stated it would honor NRC's request, complete a groundwater supplement to Yucca Mountain EIS. However, on February 28th, DOE notified NRC that it would not prepare the EIS supplement. Why did DOE change its mind over those 7 weeks, and was your commitment to this committee even a factor in that decision?
Again, the core activity that we need to do for NRC is preparing updating the technical issues on groundwater.
I have 15 seconds. Let me just go to a statement you have in your testimony.
Yes.
You say, and a consent-based siting. Where in the Nuclear Waste Policy Act is there the words anywhere consent-based siting? Where is it in the law?
I'd have to go back to my general counsel to.
Oh, come on,
address
Mr.
that
Secretary.
question.
You know
I-
that consent-based siting is not in the Nuclear Waste Policy Act, and that's why your job is to comply with the laws of the land, and you continually thwart doing that. I yield back my time.